Society for Maryland's Cafe Society.
Live, everybody. Laugh and love. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Maryland's Cafe Society Radio right here on the YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, the 31st day of January 2023, the very last day of January, and it's the second show of the new year. Man, I feel like I ushered in the new year with you guys, that very first show, and then I went quiet. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I went into hibernation. Yeah, sort of a spiritual, mental hibernation. A lot's been going on, but I'm back. I'm back. And how are you doing? Yeah, I don't know if it's, well, yeah, I know exactly what it is. It's just a lot going on, but a friend of mine mentioned um, what is it, SAD, the seasonal tension, you know what I'm talking about. It's, it's a condition that some people suffer through during the winter season. And, we were having this conversation about just, feeling a little blue, um, not feeling yourself, wholeheartedly, just feeling a little down and out. Seasonal affective disorder, something like that, I think it's called. But anyway, I don't think that's it. I think that for me, there was just a lot going on. And thank goodness, we all pushed through it. And so here we are, in this business, trying to stay on top of the news and everything else that's going on in the world. It can get a little depressing, and then you compound that with what may be going on in your own world. Sometimes it just kind of makes you withdraw and hibernate and get it together. And just as I was ready to come out of hibernation, we got hit with this cold weather. My goodness, it's so cold here. It could be colder, I know, but it's still cold. And so, again, makes you want to scurry on back into your cocoon and stay warm and safe. But anyway, I hope that you are doing well. It's happy to be back on the air. I had to get back on so that I could remember how to do this. Yeah, and so we're going to bring you the show. Now, I do have a cafe talk question that I want to put out there, and I'll go ahead and do it now. And it is actually a question that I pose to individuals who tune into the or who are part of the email club, the Mondays with Marilyn email club. And so I put it out there, and it's pretty simple. Again, related to this cold weather, which, made me start to think about relocating. That's been a theme of mine over the last 10 years or so when it gets cold like this. So the question is it better to be too cold, or is it better to be too hot? Which is better? Which is better? We got some interesting responses. And of course, you can chime in right here on the YouTube channel in the comments section. You can also chime in on the various social media outlets where this video will also be posted. But um, what's better? Is it better to be too cold, or too hot? Love to hear from you. In the minute between time, let's go ahead and get into our cafe news. And there were a couple of questions, not questions, but stories that caught my attention. And I'm just going to, bring them out now. We know that April showers bring May flowers, right? Well, here in the United States, the month of May will also bring an end to the official COVID-19 emergencies. Yes, 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 yes. President Biden and his administration announced just on yesterday, which was Monday, their plans to end both the 2020 public health and national emergencies originally declared to address the COVID-19 pandemic. They also disclosed that they were opposed to efforts by the Republican lawmakers to end the emergency declarations immediately with a bill that the Republicans called Pandemic is Over Act. They want it to end right now. Biden and his administration is going about it a little at a slower pace, and so they're saying by May 11th of this year, they will put an end to it. All right. And so the end of the emergencies will mean that many Americans will have to start to pay for your COVID tests, your COVID treatments, if you get it, and vaccinations. And, just as Biden, the White House was making this announcement, the World Health Organization made an announcement that the COVID-19 pandemic had reached what they called a transition point. Yeah, and they said that, we're transitioning from pandemic, I guess, to endemic. However, COVID-19 still remains a public health emergency, according to the World Health Organization. And so, this is January, well, the end of January, and they're saying this. So I get it why, the White House is saying, let's just wait, let's not end it right away, let's give it some time. And so they're gonna give it till May. And just stay tuned, everybody. We'll continue to watch this and see how things further develop. All right. And so, listen, if you're looking to purchase an electric vehicle, Ford announced on yesterday that it will cut prices on its electric Mustang Mach-E models by as much as 8%, which would reduce the price range to roughly just $46,000 to $64,000, depending on all the bells and whistles that you want on the Mustang. Now, this move by Ford follows the recent discounts that the rival electric vehicle manufacturer Tesla rolled out earlier this month. Both companies aim to make electric vehicles more affordable so that customers will buy them. More customers, I should say, would buy them. Now, a potential benefit that these customers will gain is from the government. They will receive a tax credit that's worth up to $7,500. And I guess the automakers, the electric vehicle automakers, also will get a benefit as well. And so, in order to get it, though, they have to, the electric vehicles have to fall within a certain threshold. And some of the Tesla Model Ys do, as well as the Mustang Mach-E models from Ford. There's other competitors out there too that's in this electrical vehicle game, like Nissan and Chevrolet, that are producing less expensive, I should say, electric vehicles as well. So, if you've been thinking about it, I know some folks who kind of went hybrid and just kind of get a feel of what it could be like. I had an opportunity last year in 2022, maybe on 3 or 4 occasions, to actually ride in a Tesla. I didn't drive it, but I was a passenger a couple times in one, and it's different. The drive is smooth for sure, but it's just a different ride. Even just sitting in the vehicle, it just feels different. It's what high tech is the best word I can come up with to describe it. But anyway, check it out. I'm thinking about it. I may do the hybrid thing before I just jump fully into the electric vehicle, but it's the wave of the future. That's where they want us to go. And, my concern is, everything in life seems to be cyclical, at one point, and society, the way that we get our energy and electricity and all of that, our power was, you know, the new wave, the new thing. And then as decades went on and went on, obviously, as we became more sophisticated and knowledgeable, they began to realize that maybe there's a better way to supply energy and so forth. And so, because of the emissions that gas and fuel spew into the environment, they're thinking that these electric vehicles will help cut some of the pollution. But you know, we'll just, it's one of those things where time will tell. Actually, time will tell. We do know that these electric vehicles run off of batteries, and that's going to be a whole another issue with disposing of the batteries and getting new batteries and charging stations and all of that. So we'll continue to watch it, follow it, and if you want to reach out and talk about it with me, you certainly can do that. You can send an email to producer@marilynscafesociety.com, and we can talk about it. Or if you just want to chat about it on the YouTube channel or social media, certainly do that. All right. Now, while all of that is happening with electric vehicles for consumers and customers, there's an Oakland based startup called Pica, which just unveiled a robotic electric cargo plane that they call the Pelican Cargo. And this Pelican Cargo, according to the industry, could change the entire landscape of the shipping industry. And so it's able to carry up to 400 pounds as far as 150 miles, and is expected to hit the UK skies and undisclosed offshore islands in the second part of this year. So keep your eyes peeled on that as well. But I could see how, perhaps it would take some of the pressure off of some of the huge shipping cargo boats that move merchandise. Maybe 400 pounds, that's not a whole lot, right? I don't know. But 150 miles, they can do that in what, 2 hours, maybe 2 hours, under 2 hours, going back and forth. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, these electric or robotic cargo planes, as well as trucks. I think it's Tesla, if I recall correctly. Last year I read that they were working on some EV trucks, cargo trucks to move merchandise and all of that. So we'll watch that industry and see how things continue to develop. All right, and then according to a survey from payments.com and Lending Club, as of the end of last year, as of 2022, 64% of the United States consumers were living paycheck to paycheck, 64%, which is up from 61% the year before, 2021. And, I don't think that's news, right? Because everyone's kind of been talking about it, especially in the last 10 years, how the middle class is continuing to shrink. And so more and more people are living paycheck to paycheck. As we all know, in the last year or so, the cost of everything has just continued to climb and climb and climb. But what got me was the fact that the 64% of the 64% included in that were individuals who were earning more than 100,000 a year. So that says a lot. I know the price of the cost of housing and those necessities that we need for electricity and power and gas and water. Everything has gone up, and so maybe I should not be so surprised. But yeah, everybody, 64% living paycheck to paycheck, and that's not a good look at all for this country. All right, and let's look at some other news now, just to lighten up things a little bit. Yay, it's the month of February. And of course, it's Black History Month, and it's going to kick off on this Wednesday. And then, of course, Groundhog Day is Thursday. And at this point, who really cares, right? And then there will be no football games on Sunday. However, there is this big game that we've been hearing a lot about. It's called the Super Bowl, and it's going to set things off on Sunday, February 12th. Of course, it's like the crowning jewel of United States sports events. My goodness. And um, for the first time, there's going to be two brothers, I think Jason and Travis Kelsey are their names, who play for rival teams, one for the Philadelphia Eagles, one for the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're going to go head to head for the big championship. And this game will also mark the first matchup for Black starting quarterbacks in the Super Bowl history. Yeah. And of course, we know that during this time, during the big game, it's an opportunity for companies to take advantage of advertising on a world stage, right? Because this is the Super Bowl. And so listen to this, the commercials for this year's game costs anywhere between $6 and $7 million for a 30-second commercial spot. Just 30 seconds. Now, they've mastered that art of telling short stories, getting their points across in 30 seconds. And so commercials to look out for will come from companies like Doritos, right? We're getting used to seeing them. FanDuel, the fabric softener Downy, as well as Budweiser. So we'll see what the fan favorites turn out to be once this game is over. And of course, everyone's been talking about the halftime show and the fact that Rihanna is going to be showing up and showing out. And there are whispers that she's going to bring some big names to the stage with her. So kind of excited about that as well. All right. So depending on who you are, it's the halftime show, that part. And then it's the commercials, and then the game. And then, of course, for most, it's the game, then the halftime show, and the commercials that they watch the Super Bowl for. All right, so after the Super Bowl, we move into the middle of the month, the middle of February, right into Valentine's Day. Yes, 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 yes. Now, I read something, everybody, that gave me an idea. Usually during Christmas and other certain times of the year, you focus on doing things for others. But how about on Valentine's Day? I think I heard or read somewhere where some individuals are going to be sending Valentines to senior citizen homes and nursing homes, and even to single parents who may not have a Valentine, just to kind of lighten or give them a little joy on that day, right? And so there's an idea, go to a homeless shelter or do something for someone else on Valentine's Day. There's a thought. There's a thought. All right. Yeah, give it some thought. But I know what some of you all are saying. Okay. All right. All right. And then, of course, I talked about Black History Month, and we really, for the show this year, we really hadn't really done any big plans, but I do want to support the efforts of the Black Heroes Matter Coalition. They will be kicking off Black History Month on Wednesday, February 1st, on North Michigan Avenue, 401 North Michigan Avenue, with a quick short program that's going to start about 10:30 a.m. Honoring the city of Chicago's founding father, Du Sable. That group is responsible for the renaming of Lakeshore Drive to Jean-Baptiste Point Du Sable Drive. And of course, working towards getting other things to honor the founding father. Well, they're going to be kicking off with a special celebration honoring him and, of course, crowning his bust that's situated at 401 North Michigan Avenue near the DuSable Bridge in Chicago. And so you are invited to attend and support. All right. All right. And I definitely want to wrap up the show with the cafe talk, which we announced at the top of the show. And the question again is it better to be too hot or too cold? And of course, what made me think about it again is this recent drop in temperature that we have here. I think this is the second time we had a significant drop right before Christmas here in the Chicagoland area where we got, 30 below zero with the wind chill and all of that. And so here we are again, this second time this winter with a significant drop. I don't think it's 30 below with the wind chill this go round, but it's pretty chilly. And so I'm thinking, my goodness, every year you say you're gonna relocate to warmer weather, and then I hear from other people who live in other places where it is warmer, and during their summers they say it gets too hot. And of course, here during our winters, we say it gets too cold. And so the question again is it better to be too hot or too cold? And some of the responses I got, as I shared with you, I put this out on the Monday email that I send out. And some of the responses, most said too cold. And they said it's better to be too cold because you can always warm up by putting, clothing, extra clothing, blankets. You always have something that can help you warm up, as opposed to when you're too hot, you can strip naked and still be hot. Obviously, if you have air conditioning or you're somewhere where there's air conditioning, you can pretty much stay cool. But if you just were relying on a fan or whatever, you again could strip down naked and not warm up. I'm sorry, cool off. And so they most said they would prefer being too cold. And I did get an interesting response that said neither. It's not better to be neither. And then I thought about places like San Diego, California, where the temperature is reportedly pretty even keel year round. They don't get too hot, they don't get too cold. And where else? Some parts of Tennessee as well. I've been hearing that they have pretty stable weather, and that it doesn't get in the extremes in terms of hot or cold. So I'm going to be different. And I'm going to say at one point in life, I would say that I don't remember what I said. I want to say I believed I said it's better to be too cold because you can always put on layers and layers and layers and warm up. But now at this point, I think I'm with the interesting response that I got from my interesting friend who said, no, it's neither. It's not good to be too hot or too cold. And so I'm going to leave it right there, and maybe we can find somewhere to go to where we would not be too hot or too cold. All right. All right. And again, chime in, share your thoughts, opinions on it here in the comment section of the YouTube channel, or you can go to the social media platforms and chime in there as well. All right. All right, and let's just revisit one last time the word for the month of January, although we just got in 2 shows this month, but The word is janissary, and that means dedicated or devoted follower, supporter. So hopefully you've been using the word, trying to get it in your vocabulary. All right. And then we do want to remind you that we are making plans for our next countdown to Christmas giveaway, which we start in October of every year. You have plenty of time now if you're a business, um, corporation, you have a brand, product, service, book, music, whatever it is, and you want to get some extra exposure through the show here and the various platforms that we use here. Just, reach out to producer at marylandscafesociety.com, producer at marylandscafesociety.com. Also, remember to check out the website, marylandscafesociety.com. There you can connect with me on social media. You can check out the blog, and of course, check out the latest YouTube video and or audio. All right, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And join the email club. Send your email to Maryland's Cafe Society at yahoo.com. And just in the subject area, say sign me up or whatever. And then we'll get you on that Monday email list. All right, so are you ready for what love is? What love is? Love is an memory of Tyree Nichols. Love is positive, effective change. All right. All right, everybody. If you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. As always, it's a pleasure and a privilege. And we'll see you on the next show. Peace, everybody. Take care.